Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir, for giving this chance to take part in the discussion on thanks motion to the Honourable President's address to the joint session of the House. Sir, the presidential address to the joint session of the Parliament is by virtue of Article 87 of the Constitution of India. Article 87 of the Constitution is very clear that Her Excellency, the speech of the President should be the policy statement of the government and the programs and schemes to be implemented in the ensuing year, and also regarding the performance of the government in the previous year. But it is deeply disappointing to note that the 82-para speech of Her Excellency, the President of India, there is lacking vision, nothing new, innovative, there is no policy statement, only the so-called achievements of the 9 years of NDA government. Nothing is there in the speech. Therefore, it is quite disappointing to note that the major issues concerning the nation has not been even referred in the presidential address. Even then, as a mark of respect to the Honourable President of India, I do support the motion of thanks to the presidential address, but subject to certain amendments for which I have given notice. I have already moved 10 amendments to the presidential motion, the motion of thanks to the presidential address, and that may be looked into. And also I am seeking some time for making all these amendments before this House. So the first point, out of the 10 amendments, I would like to flag 4 points. I may be allowed to complete the 4 points. Number 1 is the poverty eradication. Sir, Honourable Chairman, sir, in para 15 of the speech, I quote, "Poverty eradication is no longer just a slogan, but will address the genuine concerns of poverty." This is para 15 of the speech of the Honourable President. So what is the stage of affairs of the poverty in our country after 9 years of the government by Sri Narendra Modi ji in office during the last 9 years? Sir, UNDP-based Human Development Index report, it is very clear that India is pushed back to 132 out of the 192 countries. India is pushing back as far as the Human Development Index is concerned. And the economic survey, sir, you see the economic survey, that is a multi-dimensional poverty index, goes to show that the 16.4% of the population is below poverty line, and 22.8 crores of the population, that will come around 23 crores of the population, and 18.7% of the population is vulnerable to multi-dimensional poverty index. In total, it will come around 50 crores of the population is under the poverty line or touching the poverty line. That is the progress which is being claimed by the President through the Parliament or through her presidential address. So that itself shows that this government is not pro-poor, government is not pro-labor, but it is only safeguarding the interests of the multinational corporations like Adani and other companies. And the second point which I would like to highlight is regarding the unemployment. Sir, it is quite disappointing to say that the 82-para speech of the Honourable President, not even a single word reference regarding the unemployment, which is highly rocketing like anything in our country. Sir, the post-independent India has never seen such an exponential growth of unemployment in this country during the last 75 years of our independence. And also, sir, see that the CMI report, it goes to shows that the unemployment growth is 8.3% and the NSO says that it is 7.1% unemployment growth. Sir, may I ask a question to the honourable government or to the ministers? The liberal economic policy aggressively pursued by this government is based on the principle wealth creates, or the creation of wealth will lead to employment and development. But what is happening in India? It is reversely happening. When there is an economic growth, the development is not there, as well as growth regarding the unemployment is highly increasing, poverty is increasing. That means the fruits of the growth is not being reached to the common poor mass of this country. The labor, the term, sir, you are also the labor minister. The term labor is not being mentioned in the presidential address in the 82-para speech. Why it is so? It is not the capital alone creates the wealth, what the workforce creates the wealth, but unfortunately the presidential speech is missing regarding the workforce in our country, the labor in our country. Sir, I am coming to the last point, that is the 4th point regarding corruption. Sir, para 9 of the speech of the Honorable President, I would like to quote, Her Excellency, Madam President, in para 9 of the speech states that, I quote, corruption is the biggest enemy of democracy and social justice. A relentless fight against corruption is required, unquote. Sir, further, Her Excellency, the President says, I quote, we have ensured that the honest will be honored in the system, unquote. Sir, the honest will be honored in the system. Sir, I would like to say, if the government is sincere in the statement that relentless fight is required relentless fight against corruption is required and honest will be honored in the system, then the Honorable Prime Minister of the country should come to the House and state what is happened in the Hindenburg report and what has happened in the case of Adani. And not only clear statement from the Honorable Minister, a joint parliamentary committee to be constituted to see the allegations which are mentioned in the Hindenburg report, that is necessitated or that is highly required at this juncture. Sir, yesterday Rahul ji has made an eloquent speech in this House stating the shady deals that amounts to crony capitalism. Sir, the worst form of crony capitalism amounts to corruption. Sir, if that be the case, serious allegations of corruption is leveled against the government as well as the Prime Minister yesterday. Sir, I would like to quote Mr. Raghuram Rajan, the former Governor of India, Reserve Bank of India. Sir, I quote, one of the greatest dangers to the growth of developing countries is middle income trap, where any crony capitalism creates oligarchies that slow down the growth of the country, unquote. Sir, actually in India it is being happen. It is because of the middle trap, or it is because of the crony capitalism that created the oligarchies led by the Adani group and slow down the growth of our country. That is the Hindenburg report is substantiating that point. Sir, we are concerned about the report because it is not affecting the Adani group or a particular company alone. It is affecting the economy of our nation because it is a debt-fueled growth. The report very clearly says that it is a debt-fueled growth. The debt is being converted into equity by using the tax havens in Mauritius and some islands which is under the control of British government. This is the thing which is being happened. So I would like to know from the government regarding the matter of public importance in respect to the Hindenburg report. Most of the honorable friends on the other side, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji was also today morning speaking about this Hindenburg report. Sir, I will conclude. Yes. Sir, kindly see what has happened in the year 1956 and 1957. In the year 1956, R.K. Dalmia, Ramakrishna Dalmia had 9 companies. A manipulation of this thing has happened in the year 1957, and the then government has constituted a judicial commission by the High Court judge of Mumbai High Court, Mr. Tendulkar, Justice Tendulkar was the judge, and that was challenged in the Supreme Court. Whether a commission of inquiry can be, whether a commission under the Inquiry Act can be constituted, that was challenged in the Supreme Court. The 5-member bench Supreme Court has specifically said that it is affecting the well-being of the public. Therefore, a commission of inquiry is highly essential. That is being upheld by the Constitution bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. If that be the case, I would like to know the Honorable Government and even the Prime Minister why the government is hesitating to have a judicial probe or a probe by a joint parliamentary committee so as to investigate into the issue of this Adani scam. It is the biggest scam the country has ever seen. And see, the credibility of the country, the credibility of the stock market is gone. The credibility of the Indian market is under threat. Definitely this is affecting the Indian interest. So it is a matter of public interest, no doubt about it. So we demand either a judicial probe or a joint parliamentary committee. And 2 questions I would like to add. How the Life Insurance Corporation could invest 300 crores of rupees through FPO even after the controversy, even after the report has come. Whether the Indian Bank will get back their more. Sir, the people of India wants to have answer to all these questions because this is one of the biggest scams the country has never seen, for which a proper probe by JPC is required. With these words I conclude. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.